Kaya Chakshurunmilitam Minam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalan Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Sirupam Sagradatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranami Hare Priye Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhu vyahevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gauravaktavrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Nama, Hare Nama Eva Kevalam. Kalau nastyeva, nastyeva, nastyeva katyavanyata. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So nice to see all of you eager to listen to Harikatha. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to this world to establish the Yuga Dharma, the chanting of the holy names, the Maha Mantra, and he has come to give the devotional mood of the inhabitants of Braj, the associates of Krishna, the Brijabasis. And he instructed his dear devotees, Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, to write transcendental literatures for our benefit. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he also gave 8 verses. Actually, he wrote down these 8 verses, known as Shikshashtakam. Everyone knows these verses? Everyone knows? Everyone knows by heart? No? It's good to know by heart and to recite every day if possible. And especially one verse is very important, the 3rd one. And so, of course, I explained something, how I came day before yesterday. But did I mention this verse? No? No, I didn't mention this verse. That the second time I met the devotees in Switzerland. First I saw him during Rath Yatra 1979 in Zurich, Switzerland. I saw Jagannath Rath Yatra. Beautiful Jagannath Baladev Subhadra and the devotees in saffron dress or white dress and shaved and with a sikha. Something, wow, quite interesting. I never saw some people like this. But I was a seeker of the absolute truth. So I was intrigued and I came today and to them and asked them, what are you doing? And they're saying, well, we're worshiping God and we're chanting the holy names of God. Oh, that's nice, good, wonderful. Because I was believing in God. I had a strong belief. And and the second time, I was going in one time in the center of the city in Zurich, and where the young people were meeting, those seekers of the absolute truth, also some seekers of the absolute truth were there and discussing, trying to find out the absolute truth. But hardly anyone knew what is the goal of life and why we are here in this world. And then some young people, musicians, and wanting to have another life than just a normal life in this material world, some positive alternative with some sense, and have a happy life, not just working, but being happy and doing what we like. And then, of course, there were some drug addicts also, which we try to avoid. But the devotees that were going there, chanting the holy names, the Maha Mantra, and giving Mahaprasad. And I got some Mahaprasad also, Halva Mahaprasad, which was very tasty, and immediately, wow, this is very special food. Sweet. And in Switzerland, we like chocolate, wheat chocolate. Anyone had Swiss chocolate? Okay, a few devotees, well, a lot of devotees have famous Swiss chocolate. So many kinds of chocolates are there, and cakes and cookies and yeah, so that is famous for that. And watches, different kind of watches. Swiss knives are famous.
Roger Federer.
Yeah, tennis player Roger Federer. Yeah. And they play soccer also, Switzerland. And they are fairly good. And so I was working at a Swiss bank, but I left that. Somebody devotee we met, he was in the same bank, UBS. And I could have played in the junior soccer national team, but I left everything in search for the absolute truth. So I like chocolate and I ate many sweets, but then this prasadam was just something different, very special. And they gave me a pamphlet that here is a pamphlet, some information about what we are doing. I said, okay, fine, I took it. I went through a little bit. And then at the back side of the pamphlet, there was one verse written down. One of the verses of the Shikshashtakam. Rinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina amananena kirtaniya sadahari. That we should be humble, more humble than the grass in the street or on the side of the street. In India, the grass is on the street also. But here, maybe in the forest, some kind of street is there and some trail is there. We went for a walk in the forest and you can see some grass also sometimes. But usually on the street here in the West, you don't see the grass. But on the side, the grass is there and it's growing profusely. And so you step on the grass, so the grass will go down naturally. But we go ahead and the grass will go up. So we should be like that. Even people are trampling on us. But we just go on chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So not complaining, but not expecting any respect, but giving all respect to others. And one should be more tolerant than the tree. So the tree is there when it is raining, when it is hot in the summer, and the tree is not complaining. Even the dogs are going there, and they like to pass stool or pass water, especially right on the tree, especially the male dogs. One leg is up, and then they're doing their business on the tree. Or then, if there are not many trees, then they see the cars, and they do on the tire of the car. They pass water, so that we see. Here you don't see so many dogs, but in Vrindavan there are plenty of dogs. So but the tree is tolerating, so we should be tolerating all difficulties in life. And always try to chant the holy name. So I appreciated this verse. I thought this verse is very nice. And I kept the pamphlet. But then somehow I lost it. But then I wanted to meet the devotees. I didn't know, so but I lost the paper, but I knew in which part of the city they were. And then I thought, well, let me just go in that part of the city, and if that has really some value, this people, then and God is there, so He will lead me to these devotees. And I was going that direction, and there was a devotee with normal cloth, not devotional cloth, but I recognized he had a sika and he had a kantimala. These are the symptoms or the things by which we can recognize the devotee. So even Yamaraj is there, and the Yamadutas who are catching the sinful people, and if they see somebody as a kantimala and a sika, then they will think, well, they know he's a devotee of the Lord and we should not touch him. So then I followed this devotee and I told him, well, I want to know more about your society. And he said, yeah, fine, just around the corner our preaching center is there. So I went there and I met the devotees there. So Krishna is arranging everything. So that is the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who predicted, or he wanted, that the holy name should be spread in every town and village. So Prabhupada was the empowered personality who spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. And so empowered by Krishna, empowered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, empowered by the Guru Parampara. So Prabhupada, when he was then chanting, for example, before the class, the Bhagavatam or the Bhagavad Gita or some program, then also mostly the song he was singing, favorite song, Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. So because it is practically like a window to the spiritual world. And that is the goal, to go to Golok Vrindavan. Of course, here we have also the temple Golok and the Radha Golok Ananda are there. So transcendental bliss is there by serving Radha Golokananda, Radha Krishna. And that is the goal of life, so we should understand. And of course, that has been explained by the acharyas. Some devotees, they will go to Golok. Some devotees, they will go to Navadvip, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is residing, who is not different from Radha and Krishna. Not different and different. And so the highest realm is divided in 4. Golok Vrindavan is there, the highest realm, and then next to Golok is Shvetadip Navadvip. And little outside is Mathura, where Mathuresh is there, and some of his associates are there, and then further on Dwarka is there, where Dwarkadish, Krishna is there, and 16,108 queens are there, and they all have a palace. So the opulence of the Lord is unlimited. And so we were talking about Rupa Goswami, who was empowered by Mahaprabhu. So it is considered one of the foremost associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Of course, then also it has been explained that there are 3.5 confidential associates. Sarupa Damodar and Rai Ramananda, who are, and so as we have said, and we know, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is no different from Radha Krishna. And Sarupa Damodar is Lalita Devi in Krishna Lila. And Rai Ramananda is Vishaka Devi. Of course. The pastimes of Krishna are most wonderful and amazing, and similarly Mahaprabhu's pastimes. And all the other realms in the spiritual world are or find too under expansion of Krishna's opulences, and which is unlimited. But then the most wonderful is Golokdham, and then Shedadip Navadvip, where Mahaprabhu is residing with his associates, and by engaging devotional service, then we learn more and more, and practically all the time we will learn something new. And the pastimes of Krishna are unlimited, the pastimes of Mahaprabhu are unlimited. And so there's one expansion of the Lord, Ananta Shesh. So a huge serpent on which Vishnu is lying, and the serpent has many hoods, hundreds hoods. Or just like we know we are in this one universe, and we should always be humble, as the verse is saying, Trinadabisyunichena. And also, yes, so and different universes are there. And by the way, just to keep us humble, our universe is the smallest of all the universes. And in each universe, there's one Lord Brahma, the secondary creator. And he has 4 heads. And we only have 1 head, right? But because it's the smallest universe, only needs 4 heads to arrange the things in this world. In other universes, some of them have 10 heads. Some Lord Brahma have 10 heads, some have 100 heads, which we can hardly imagine, but it is mentioned in the scriptures, and that is the truth. And those who have faith, which is required, we must have faith. It is not some mythology and some science fiction which is described there in the scriptures. It is the absolute truth. At the beginning, we may not be able to really understand, but if we practice, then we will realize, we will understand, by the mercy of the Lord, by the mercy of the representative of the Lord who is presenting the absolute truth for our understanding. So Ananta Shesh, so he is in the form of a serpent, but he has 100 hoods in our universe. In some other places, universes, he has 1,000 hoods. Sahasra Shesha Purushaha. So amazing creation that has been described in the Bhagavatam and in the literatures of the Goswamis, and especially Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, and then also Jiva Goswami was a great scholar, and the nephew of Rupa and Sanatana. And others were there, Raghunath Das Goswami. They've written books, but we are known as followers of Rupa Goswami as a practicing devotee. And in more advanced consciousness or in purified existence, then we take shelter of Rupa Goswami, who is Rupa Manjari in Krishna Lila. So Ananta Shesh is glorifying Krishna with its hundreds of tongues, and is glorifying Mahaprabhu. And the devotees also, sometimes they're praying. Of course, they don't want to become like Ananta Shesh, but they want to have hundreds of tongues so they can properly glorify Krishna, and hundreds of ears so they can sufficiently hear about Krishna so they can feel some satisfaction. Some devotees, they will go to Golok. Some devotees, they will go to Dwarka. Some devotees will go to Vaikuntha. And some devotees, they will go to Navadvip. And some devotees, they will go to both places, Navadvip and Golok. So who wants to go to Golok? Many. Who wants to go to Navadvip? Also, yeah, many. Those who are intelligent, they want to go to both places. Who wants to go to Vaikuntha? Vaikuntha, okay, some Vaikuntha Vasis are there. Okay, good, fine. Yeah. Who wants to go to Ayodhya? Okay, one wants to go to Ayodhya. Good. Okay. Jai Sri Ram. Also wonderful pastimes of Ram. And the Lord is very merciful because in conditioned state we cannot see Krishna as he is. Or anyone has seen Krishna as he is? Anyone has seen Ramchandra as he is in the spiritual world? Very rare. Therefore, the Lord is he came like 5,000 years ago, Krishna, and 540 years ago, Mahaprabhu. Ramchandra came millions of years ago in the Treta Yuga. But then they are appearing in this world by their own sweet will, through the agency of empowered personalities, the spiritual masters, and they manifest as the Archa Vigraha, known as Archa Avatar. So by then taking shelter with the deities, we can advance in our spiritual life. So that is actually very important limb of devotional service. As you explained, also 64 limbs are there. So the first limb, what is the first limb? Guru Padashray, taking shelter with the spiritual master. And then we take instructions from him. We follow the previous acharyas also. And for us, especially Rupa Goswami. Other devotees, they may be there, like in Vrindavan, who are following Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Some devotees are following Jiva Goswami, and that is all right. Some are following Raghunath Das Goswami, but specifically Prabhupada has mentioned that we follow Rupa Goswami. And also Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada mentioned Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur. So in our disciplic succession, they are taking shelter of Rupa Goswami, a sadhaka's practicing devotee. And so he has shown us the path, how to engage in deity worship or how to perform devotional service. And so he was very merciful. And the spiritual master, the devotees are merciful. And the path of this devotional life given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the chanting of the holy names, that is for everyone. From whatever background they may be coming. They may be coming from India, or they may be Muslims by background, or Christians, or old men, young men, children. And so everyone will have the opportunity to advance in their spiritual life by the mercy of Mahaprabhu, by chanting the holy names, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So there are so many transcendental literatures, and like the Bhagavatam, of course, the Vedic literatures, but the Bhagavatam is the essence of the Vedic literatures. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so instructed his followers to write transcendental literatures for the benefit of the fallen conditioned souls of the age of Kali. Therefore, the associates of Mahaprabhu, the followers of Mahaprabhu, they also wrote about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life. Like Vrindavan Das Thakur, like Vyasadeva, he wrote transcendental literatures with the help of one great personality, Ganesh, Sri Ganesh. In India, they very much take shelter of Ganesh also. Special personality, the son of Lord Shiva and Parvati Devi. So then the Vedanta Sutra was written, the essence of the Vedas, which is in 4 parts, explaining about Sambandha Gyan, our position, a spirit soul, and the existence of God and our relationship with God. And then that is the first part, Sambandha Gyan. Second and third part is known as Abhideya Gyan, the process, how to engage in devotional service. So that we have to learn from the spiritual master. And it was very kind, it was Krishna Kripa Srimurti, the manifestation of the mercy of Krishna, or Gauranga Kripa Srimurti, the manifestation of the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was most merciful to everyone. And so the second and third is about the process which we have to adopt in order to realize our existence as a servant of the Lord. And then how to attain the perfection of life. Prayojan, the necessity to develop our love for Krishna. Actually, the love for Krishna is already there. We are spirit soul. Haribol, spirit soul. Everyone is aware, right? We are spirit soul. So therefore we say Haribol, spirit soul. So we are waking up from the dreamline position. Even we know theoretically that we are not this body, right? We have heard thousands of times. And sometimes even devotees say, well, we heard so many times, why are you speaking? We are spirit soul. But then, have you realized that you are spirit soul? There's Gyan and Vigyan. So we know, okay, we are spirit soul, but then we have to realize that we are an infinitesimal spiritual being completely apart from the gross and subtle body. And realize we are constantly aware. So we are a few seconds in a day, we are aware that we are an insignificant part and parcel of Krishna. Mostly still we are thinking, I'm Amarendra Das. I'm a pujari. I'm a cook. I'm the head pujari. I'm the temple president. I give him a garland here. You should give him the garland. You cannot say no. No, 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 it's for you.
Now I got instruction.
Yeah, instruction. So,
Temple president ki jai.
so,
I got instruction.
yeah. So the process is there. And then prayojan, the necessity. The necessity is to develop our love for Krishna. So we are eternal spiritual beings, infinitesimal, and so we should try to realize. So by the process of devotional service, we can realize. And then when we realize, then we are really humble. Paripakva dainatva. Dainatva means humility. Pakva means ripe. And paripakva means completely ripe. Just like you have a mango. Mango, ripe mango. We have mangoes here, right? Yeah. Do you like mango? Who likes mango? It's wonderful fruit. Everyone likes mango. Hey. And now it's the mango season. So different mangoes are there in India. Like 50 varieties at least. In Maharashtra side, Mumbai, Alfonso mango. Alfonso. Apples is okay. Yeah. And UP side is Langla is there, Chosat, Dasheri, yeah. Kesar is there also. So. So many nice mangoes. When they're ripe, they're nice. And then we make some nectar, amras. So, but even so, and if the devotees are ripe, they're nice. But even if they're not ripe, they're nice too. Because mango is mango, and devotees also. But if the mango is not ripe, it is not kacha, unripe. And you can use it also. You can make some chutney. And in the summer, they make a nice juice, which is cooling. Ampana, yeah. So that we drink in the summer. It is fine also. But still, I mean, the ripe mango is better than the unripe mango. And so the ripe devotee is better than the unripe. So the ripe humility is there if one is realized. Otherwise, it is kacha dainatva, it is unripe humility. Like somebody's first time coming to the temple and he doesn't know much and he's realizing that these people, they know more than me. And then he's a kind of humble. Okay, Prabhuji, yes, please help me and teach me something. So, but that humility is not ripe, it is unripe because he doesn't have realization. And his humility can stay for a few days and then maybe he learns something and then again he's proud. I know so much, I'm better than the others. So, so that has to be developed. The ripe humility, and then the strong faith will be there, and then one can take full shelter of Krishna. And so the love is there for Krishna already, but it is dormant. And our transcendental form is there. We have a form, a transcendental form, but now it is not revealed. It is not manifest. It is in a dormant state, like a seed-like state. So, but by the process of devotional service, then our spiritual form will be revealed, and our love for Krishna will manifest, pure love for Krishna. So, and you can practically see that those who are engaging devotional service, even children, they learn very quickly. And they know so much. Like, what's her name, a little girl, Shama? And she knows so much, and he's chanting already. And other boys also here. And when you're chanting, what's your name? Keshav. Krishav. Okay. Okay, fine. You're chanting Hare Krishna? Okay, good. So you know so much already, right? Krishna is God, you know, right? You're the servant of God, you know, right? And so then it is mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita also, by Krishna Raj Kaviraj Goswami. He has given beautiful verses at the beginning of each chapter, and there are many chapters in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. At the beginning, in the Adi Lila, first chapter, he has written many verses. First in glorification of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why he has come, and that is no different from Radha Krishna, but he has come. Radha Bhavadyuti Swamitam Krishna Sarupam is Krishna himself, but he has come with the luster and the mood of Srimati Radharani. And then it is explained why he has come, or why he is here, to experience the love of Srimati Radharani. And by her love, the wonderful qualities of Krishna she's experiencing. Krishna has unlimited qualities, but 64 are mentioned. And then especially 4 are there, which only are there in the person of Krishna. Vishnu doesn't have these 4 qualities. Ramchandra Bhagavan doesn't have these 4 qualities. Dwarkadesh is also Krishna, but this doesn't have these 4 qualities. That we will explain a little later. So Radharani, she's having the most wonderful love for Krishna. Mahabhav Sarupini, the embodiment of the highest love for Krishna. And because of her love, so she can most wonderfully experience the wonderful qualities of Krishna. And then she's experiencing the most wonderful transcendental bliss, Anand. So Makshi Mahaprabhu came to, he's always in that form in the spiritual world, but then he's coming in this world to show the wonderful love of Srimati Radharani, and of course the wonderful qualities of Krishna in this way also. And then, but especially, so he was giving some instructions to his followers, especially Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Ranganath Das Goswami. He wanted them to write, because like Krishna is very humble. He becomes the chariot driver of Krishna. And Krishna becomes the chariot driver of Arjun. So, and we can see, like for example, in India, or even here in the West, some rich people, they may have a car, but then they may not drive, but then they have a driver. So the driver, of course, if he's a driver of the president, of the prime minister, so that is a wonderful position for him. He gets a good pay, but he's a servant, he's a driver. So Krishna becomes the driver of Arjun, so humble. And when Krishna was So asking Yudhishthira Maharaj, who was going to be enthroned as the emperor, the king of the kings of whole Bharatvarsha, then Krishna, because Yudhishthira was elder than him in years, a few years, but of course Krishna is the unborn Supreme Lord. But Yudhishthira appeared first in this world. So Krishna very humbly approached him and, what seva can I do for you? And he said, you can welcome all the guests who are coming. And then he was welcoming everyone, the saintly persons, by offering some sandalwood paste, which is cooling, out of respect, offering them a garland, and even some of them, the great sages, washing their feet. So very humble, most humble. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was most humble. And so he's coming as a devotee to show us how to engage in devotional service. And so therefore he gave this verse also, Trinadapi Sunichena. And then he wanted his devotees to glorify Krishna, to glorify Srimati Radharani. But then, of course, they also glorified Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like Vedavyas was giving so many transcendental literatures, like the Bhagavatam. To some extent, of course, Bhagavatam is Krishna Sarup, no different from Krishna. It is unlimited. And in this world, it has 18,000 verses. But in the higher planets, it has many more shlokas, verses. I believe 400,000 verses are there. And then he manifested the Mahabharata. So he spoke, and Ganesh was writing, and the Bhagavad Gita is included. And the Vyas for Chaitanya Lila, the first person who described about Mahaprabhu, that was Vrindavan Das Thakur. But then others also were there, Lochan Das Thakur, and then Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. And so Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, his Chaitanya Chaitamrita Prabhupada, for our benefit, and which is the most wonderful literatures describing Mahaprabhu's pastimes and the knowledge which he wanted to give to the world, that is described there to quite some extent. But then he wanted his devotees to write more books also, and which they did for our benefit, like Rupa Goswami. So Krishna, so Mahaprabhu's life, so Krishna is in the center. He's performing his pastimes, but at the same time he's also remembering Krishna. In the morning he's remembering, when he's waking up, he's remembering Radha Krishna are there somewhere in the forest, and they're getting up after having performed their pastimes. So he's remembering that, and then he's taking his bath, he's remembering how Krishna is taking his bath, and Radharani. Sometimes they meet at the Jamuna, and then Mahaprabhu is taking his breakfast, and he's remembering how Radharani is cooking at Nandagram, the palace of Krishna's father. And she's cooking, and she's brought there because she got, of course, she's most expert, but in this world, the pastime is there that she was blessed by Durvasa Muni. And so beautiful pastimes are there, how she's cooking for Krishna every day, some new preparation also. And Krishna is relishing what she's cooking. So one time she makes some sweets, nice sweets, because Krishna is a sweet boy. Because Krishna is eating so many sweets, so he's sweet. But even without eating sweets, he's sweet. So beautiful. Adaram maduram vadanam maduram nayanam maduram hasitam maduram redam maduram gamanam maduram madurade patera kilam maduram is the essence of all sweetness. Everything is sweet about Krishna. His lips are sweet, his face is sweet, His eyes are sweet. His heart is sweet. His walking is sweet. His eating is sweet. His sleeping is sweet. His devotees are sweet. His fruit is sweet. Everything is sweet about Krishna. The gopis are sweet. The gopas are sweet. The cows are sweet. Everything is sweet. And so when he's laughing, that is even more sweet. So from the face you can understand a person's consciousness. If he's angry, you can see. If he's happy, you can see. So Krishna is eating nicely and relishing. And so she made some ladus. You know laddu? Everyone knows laddu?
Yes.
Some round sweet. Different kinds of laddu. One is besan made with this, how you call besan in chickpeas. In English, what is it? The ground flour. Yeah. Gram flour. Yeah. And you put the ghee, you roast it in the ghee, and then and then you put some sugar. At that time, Krishna's time, all healthy ingredients, no white sugar. Healthy, everything healthy, first class. And the best ghee is there. From Krishna's favorite cow is there. And they're making first class ghee. A2 ghee in India. You got grade A2, the best ghee is there. So she's making this laddu, of course, with so much love. And so she's in the kitchen, and there's a dining room. And so Krishna is there, and then Krishna's father is there, Balaram is there, and sometimes one of the uncles are there also, and they're sitting down, and Mother Yashoda, she's supervising. Sometimes she goes in the kitchen, but she has to supervise a big palace. So a lot of things to do. So therefore she's asking Rohini to help also to cook some items. But most of the items Radharani is preparing in the morning, which is the biggest meal. Like there's a song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhajabhakata Vatsala Sigora Hari. So that we chant sometimes at noontime, like Prabhupada's spiritual master Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, he instructed his disciples to chant every day at noontime. And then they chant Yasomati Nandana, Prajabara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana. So, but this song actually, because at noontime in our temple, that is the biggest offering, or in Bhaktisiddhanta's temple. But actually this song is referring to the breakfast offering. Because noontime, so Krishna has gone with his friends to the pasturing grounds. And in between suddenly he says to his friends, I have to go somewhere. Okay, I'm just now coming after a little while. And in India, just now coming. It can be 1 hour or 2 hours. I'm just now coming, 10 minutes. Abhi aa raha hu. And he's coming after 2 hours. And no problem. But here in the West, chalega nahi. Here it will not work. Hey, why you're late? But in India, no problem. So Krishna is from Krishna's time already. And Krishna many times is late for the appointment with Radharani at time, Abhisar. Radharani, she's practically always on time. And therefore we are in Radharani's group, therefore we are on time too. When you do the seva, like Prabhupada said, punctuality and cleanliness is most important in deity worship. He was there in Krishna Balaram Mandir, darshan time, and he's looking at the watch, 7:15, it should open. That was before I was head pujari. I was another head pujari. So he was from France. And he was a artistic person. His name was Omkar. I met him also. So he was the head pujari, and Prabhupada looking at the watch, 7:15. Swiss watch, he had a Swiss watch. Rolex. I don't have any watch. I'm from Switzerland because I'm a pujari and, because the things have to be clean. So therefore I'm not having the watch because otherwise you have to clean it every day. And even like the glasses, every morning I clean them with water because they have to be clean if you go on the altar. So then 7:16 and 7:17, where is the head pujari? And they're calling him immediately. And Prabhupada, why are you not opening? 7:17 and still closed? Oh, we are just opening. And Prabhupada, 7:15 you have to open. And next day, he opened at 7:15. He was shaking and he was really trying hard. And it is actually a fact. And if we are under pressure, sometimes we can do more and we can do better. But because of the mind, the material mind, then we are what is known as spaced out. But if you are having this eagerness, which is required actually ultimately, then you can do better and more. And so those who are highly advanced, they have so much eagerness. Therefore, they're not wasting any time. But in the beginning, so we need a little push. Okay, get up early and then the spiritual master has to push the disciples. So they do. So Prabhupada was pushing also his disciples many times. And be on time in deity worship, be punctual. So very practical. And Prabhupada, so he knew about the pastimes of Krishna. And therefore, which time we're waking up the deities? Which time? 4 o'clock?
Yeah, 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock?
Yeah.
4 o'clock here?
Yes. 4
Okay. Fine, yeah, here because Krishna was performing Ras Leela, so he's getting up a little late. One time actually in New York, Prabhupada was there, and he asked the Pujari, which time you're waking up the deities? It's actually not 4 o'clock, but before, 3:36. And then he said, well, as in most of the temples, then Prabhupada said, oh, Krishna performed Ras Leela, he's tired. So wake him up at 5 o'clock. Next morning, they woke up the deities at 5, and then at Mangalatik at 5:30. But then they came back to Prabhupada, but in all the temples, you said we should wake them up at 3:36, 3:35. I said, Prabhupada said, okay, yes, right, from tomorrow you do again. So Prabhupada was, of course, completely transcendental, absorbed in Braj Bhav, taking shelter of Rupa Goswami. Therefore, the first verse, Om Jnana, is there in Mangalacharan, taking shelter of the spiritual master, and then Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam, taking shelter of Rupa Goswami's lotus feet, who understood the desire of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that is to establish Braja Bhakti. And especially, of course, the highest relationship of the gopis, Unad Ujjala Ras, that is mentioned in the Mangalacharan verse. Krishna is going and, as explained, and then he's telling his friends, I'm just coming. And then he's meeting the gopis at noontime, Radharani and her friends at Radhakund. Every day at noontime he's there. And that is, he's spending the most time actually with the gopis, more than with the gopas or more with, in the morning is there, Mother Yashoda, for some time, of course, for breakfast and then taking the bath. But sometimes even he tells his mother that today I want to take bath at the Jamuna with my friends. And then she said, okay, yeah, you go. And some younger boys are there with him, who are sometimes assisting him. And he had sent a message to Srimati Radharani, sometimes with sending the message with one of his friends. And even they have actually, even in India, they have a kind of round, even previously they had, especially in India, so a round kind of container, and then they write a letter and they put it in that message box. They even have So I bought that for the deities also, for Srimati Radharani. You can get in the jewelry shop also. Silver, I got that. So Krishna can send a message, or Radharani can send a message. And there they also have, and even previously, they have the birds also, the parrots or the pigeons they were using. Like we have a kavacha, sometimes devotees with some holy items from Krishna, or a Nrsimha kavacha for protection. So sometimes he writes very small and puts it inside the kavacha of the bird and then sending the bird. The parrot especially to Srimati Radharani. And then they meet. And they meet at Radhakund. So, and that is the longest time, actually. That is even mentioned by the Acharyas, by Rupa Goswami. This Ashtakaliya Stotram. The day and night is divided in 8 parts. 24 hours are there. And so, and like we have here day and night, and here we have 4 seasons, right? Summer, autumn, winter, spring. In India, there are 6 seasons. There's the rainy season, and pre-autumn is there, Sharat, Ritu. And in spirit world, there are also 6 seasons. And they are permanently present there. And Krishna can, when Krishna wants to have the snow, he can have it any time throughout the year. And then it is snowing, but it is not too cold. When it is snowing here, it's snowing sometimes here, it is cold, huh? But there it is snowing, it is fresh, but it is not so cold. And if Krishna is feeling a little cold, then the sun is becoming more strong, or he's calling out the summer season is coming. So they are there permanently serving Krishna. That is a transcendental realm. So Adabhut, wonderful, wonderful Krishna, wonderful spiritual realm, wonderful associates of Krishna, and wonderful Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has revealed, especially through his devotees, and especially through Rupa Goswami for us. And so then he's meeting there from 10:48, so that has been explained what Krishna is doing throughout the day and night. So Stotram is there. 8 verses, and then the 9th, the Falstuti, the benefit of chanting this. And so he's explaining throughout the day and night what Krishna is doing in brief. And then Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has written a book that is also famous, Govinda Lilamrita, and where he's in detail explaining. So that is for the devotees who are already more advanced and who have read Prabhupada's books many times. And they are purified in consciousness that they may read, and then they may be able to be absorbed. So this mentioned also the time, exact time, when the first part is starting, Nishanta Lila, 3:36 till 6. And then Prahata Lila, morning pastime from 6 till 8:24. And then Purvana Lila, before noon, 4 noon pastime, 8:24 till 10:48. And then Madhyana Lila, which is double. The other ones are 2 hours and 24 minutes. The middle part, Madhyana Lila, noon pastime, is double. 4 hours, 48 minutes. Because the gopis are his most beloved devotees, and they have the most exalted love. So therefore he wants to spend more time with them at Radhakund, playing in the water and playing dice, and there's a Julan there, a swing also. And so they have a good time there. But then he has to go back, and then and he's coming suddenly back, and okay, I'm here. And then he's calling all the cows, and of course they're all eagerly waiting. And all of the cows have a name also. 900,000 cows, and he remembers all of them. And he has a Japamala also, but he's not chanting Hare Krishna. But the Japamala is there to count. There are 108 main groups of cows. And so he's counting group number 1, group number 2, group number 3, and he knows the leader of each of the groups of cows. He's counting to see if all of them are there on the date. And then, so they're going back. And so that is Aparana Lila, 3:36 in the afternoon till 6 o'clock. And Mother Yashoda is anxiously waiting for Krishna to return. And there's an auspicious time in India. The marriages are performed usually evening time, or sometimes night time also. But we, the Vaishnavas, don't do night time. But some people, they do night time. Midnight, they have the marriage ceremony. And first they get together and they have a big feast, and then by the way, they do a little ceremony also. But we do during the day or evening time, Goduli Samai, very auspicious, Goduli Samai. And it is just at the time there was a sunset, and Krishna and Balaram are coming back, and the cows and the calves. And so Krishna knows that Mother Yashoda is eagerly waiting for him to come back. And so therefore he's sometimes running. And Krishna is running, the Balarama is running, and all the friends are running also, because they want to be with Krishna. And when they are running, the cows and the calves are also running. And what is the result? The dust is raised, and there's a cloud of dust. That is Goduli Samai. And Mother Yashoda sees the cloud. Oh, now they're coming all back, they're running back. And she's eagerly waiting for Krishna. So that is described. And so Prabhupada knew all this, and then he's coming back. Krishna is Amal Purush, he's pure. He's never contaminated, he's never dirty. But he's playing like the boys, and Mother Yashoda is saying, you're full of dust, you have to take bath. So he's taking bath in the evening when he's coming back. And after taking bath, because the cloth is also full of dust, okay, you put another dress. Therefore, Prabhupada in New York, in New Vrindavan, in Los Angeles, when he had enough devotees in the big temples, he had the devotees change the deity's dress in the afternoon and put another dress, another garland. And they were doing for many years when Prabhupada was present. So because he was knowing about Krishna's pastimes, and he was seeing, because he's a pure devotee. Also in New York, he was there. They were talking different things. And then the talk was about Vrindavan. And then Prabhupada says, I am always in Vrindavan. Because Radha Govinda there, and he's remembering Krishna. And actually Radha Govinda, most of the deities, they come from Jaipur, Rajasthan, India. So he was there one time and he was doing a preaching program, and the queen of Jaipur, she was well known. She was known as Gayatri Devi. So she liked Prabhupada, and so therefore she donated the Radha Govinda deities, which are in New York. And Prabhupada installed them in front of the famous Radha Govinda temple in Jaipur. And then he shipped them to New York, and they were established there. So the good fortune of being in New York and serving them for almost 3 years, 94 till 87. The big deities and small deities. So I used to dress in the afternoon. But then, after Prabhupada left, and also many disciples left or stayed outside, and then it was difficult to manage. And when I went back to India, then they also stopped in the afternoon and only doing on Sunday. So what to do? But Prabhupada, so he knew and he established that. And so Krishna Balaram come back, he's taking a bath, has fresh clothes, and then the evening meal is there. 6 o'clock till 8:24, that is known as Shayan Lila. And then after that, 8:24 till 10:48, Pradosh Lila. And then everyone is taking rest, Krishna is taking rest, everyone is taking rest. But then Krishna is getting up and he sent a message to Radharani, we will meet at such and such place. And they meet. So from 10:48 till 3:36, again double of the time, Ratri Lila, night pastimes. And then the famous pastime is Krishna dancing with the gopis, calling the gopis for a dance on a full moon day and night, when the full moon is there. Dancing with so many gopis and reciprocating with all of them. But then sometimes Krishna, he stops and he says, okay, and all the gopis also saying, okay, now you dance. And Krishna is Natavar, is the best of dancers. Of course, Lord Shiva is also good in dancing. At the end of creation, his Tandav Nritya is there and destruction is there. But Krishna is better dancer than Lord Shiva. He's better, he's the most expert in anything and everything. So he's dancing, and then all the gopis are very happy to see Krishna dancing, and they say, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Well done, well done. And then Krishna tells Radharani, now you dance. And she's dancing even better than Krishna. And all the gopis, sadhu, sadhu. And so wonderful pastimes are there. And then he takes a little rest somewhere in the forest for a little while, but then he has to go back before sunrise so that nobody comes to know that they were out. And Radharani also going back. And then Maria Yashoda one time also trying to wake up Krishna. Krishna, get up, get up. I'm still tired. And then she sees a mark here on Krishna's cheek, some reddish color there. Because you know why, right? Radharani kissed him on the cheek. So reddish color is there. And then Madhu Mangal, he also knows, one of Krishna's friends. He knows also what's happening, and he was there also. Oh, you know, yeah, I was there also last night when a parrot was biting Krishna. Therefore, red color is there. Oh, really? Okay. And so, and then when she's not looking, quickly wiping the red color there, wiping it away. And then he takes bath there. So, and Radharani is taking bath in Varshana, but sometimes they meet at the Jamuna. And as explained, so, and Radharani tells her mother, I want to take bath with my friends at the Jamuna, and then they meet there and they take bath there, and then the gopis are decorating Radhisham. So these things are there, and so the acharyas have explained, so we can meditate on that, and while we do the seva also we can remember sometimes. Or we can chant these verses in glorification of the Lord. So Rupa Goswami has given these wonderful books. And so everything is actually about Krishna. And so he is explained in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu the wonderful qualities of Krishna, of course also of Radharani, and she has 25 wonderful qualities. And so she's very modest, she's very grave and respectful to the elders. And the last quality which is mentioned is that she's controlling Krishna. She's able to control Krishna by her love. Otherwise, Krishna is unconquerable, Ajit, but is controlled by the love of his associates, Srimati Radharani, Maria Yashoda, his friends. So Krishna's qualities are there. That is also described. And we see in the Vedic literatures actually. So Bhagavatam, about Krishna's pastimes, it is there. And even in other Puranas like Padma Purana, especially Sattvic Puranas are there. So besides the four, the Veda, which was divided in four by Vyasadeva, but then other literatures are there. The Shruti is there, that which was spoken and which is heard, and the Smriti, that which was also given afterwards to be remembered and then written down also. Of course, even the Vedas, they were written down at one point to some extent. But now many of these texts are lost. So that is there. So these things are also described there. And even so, the first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Janmadi Yasya, or in the Vedic literatures. So Krishna is the source of everything. Of course, in one sense, he's the source of the spiritual and material worlds, but he's the source of all the transcendental personality of Godhead, like Vishnu and so on, and is the source of all transcendental mellows, Akila Rusimrita Murti. And the most important one, that is known as Adiras. So the original mellow and the most important one is the conjugal relationship between Radha and Krishna. And everything else is actually supportive of that pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the different devotees are explained, the friends of Krishna, the parents, and they're all part of Krishna's, they're all there for Krishna's pleasure, and so that he can perform his pastime, especially with Srimati Radharani. So therefore even, I've mentioned, so Rupa Goswami, he wrote this book, Ujjwal Nilamani, which is for those who are more qualified, so they can understand the mood of the gopis especially. But even there, he has described in the first chapters about Krishna's friends and Krishna's parents, and even the animals which are there, and they play a role in the pastimes of Krishna. So ultimately everything is about Krishna, and of course Srimati Radharani, because Radharani is the most beloved. And everything is supportive to the wonderful loving exchange of Radha and Krishna. And therefore they are most glorified in the Vedic literatures, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the books of the Acharyas. And even you go to Vrindavan, so everyone is chanting Hare Krishna or Radhe Shyam or Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe. So many times the Brijvasis are more inclined towards Srimati Radharani. And in the beginning, so we understand Krishna is God, we are the servant of God. And so in this way, we glorify Krishna. But then later on, like the Acharyas, they take shelter of Srimati Radharani. And Radharani is everything for them. And there was one great sage from the Nimbarka Sampradaya, and they also worshiping Radha Krishna. So he was chanting the holy names and studying the scriptures. But he felt that I have to glorify Srimati Radharani. And then he was writing on every tree in Vrindavan and all the walls, Sri Radha. So very beautifully. And so those who have been in Vrindavan, who has been in Vrindavan, of course, mostly it is in Hindi. So if you don't know Hindi, then maybe you cannot read, but you will understand. As devotees, we can understand. This is the name of Radha in Hindi or Sanskrit. And so it's very beautiful. So we are reminded that some beautiful verses are there in glorification of Krishna and Radharani, and especially even more Radharani than Krishna. Did I mention yesterday about the 1,000 names of Vishnu equal to 3 names of Ram, 3 names of Ram equal to 1 name of Krishna, and then 1,000 names of Krishna equal to 1 name of Radha. So if we say Radha, that is like 1,000 times saying Krishna. And there's one verse also mentioned that if you call Radha, then actually Krishna will run after us. Or that the devotee is calling Radha, Radha. So then Krishna will be very pleased. But we chant Hare Krishna, which means Radha Krishna. And we say Hare Ram, and that is Radhe Shyam, for the devotees who have that mode of serving Radha and Krishna. So if we call Krishna Krishna, then Srimati Radharani is happy. So therefore we say Hare Krishna, and then both of them are happy. And both of them are coming. When we chant Hare Krishna, they will manifest before us ultimately. When we chant every day. So, but many times the devotees they are, and then even our acharyas, they took shelter of Srimati Radharani because most of them they are as associates of as Radha Krishna, but they are more inclined towards Srimati Radharani. Radhika Adik Prem or Sneha. Sobhadan Rupa Goswami, so he has explained about the wonderful qualities of Krishna also. Unlimited qualities, but especially 4 qualities are there. So Venu Madhurya, Rupa Madhurya, Lila Madhurya, and Prema Madhurya. So when Krishna is playing the flute, the effect of that, and that has been recorded also in the Srimad Bhagavatam by Shukadeva Goswami in the 10th canto, 21st chapter, known as Venugit, is explaining there that the autumn season is there. So summertime it is very hot in Vrindavan and everything becomes dry. There's less water in the ponds and the river. But then the rainy season is coming and everything becomes green and beautiful and more water in the ponds and the rivers. And then everyone is very much elated and they perform festival. Of course, Vrindavan every day is a festival. Every day a festival is there in Krishna's pastimes and for the devotees also. So if we chant nicely, then every day is a festival by chanting the holy names. And every day then we have nice prasadam. So every day we can hear about Krishna. Every day is a festival. If you hear about Krishna, festival for the ears and for the heart, and one is fully satisfied. So, so the beautiful effect is there of when Krishna is playing the flute. So in Sharad Ritu, and so he has explained that the rivers are there and the birds are there, and everyone is there in order to serve Krishna. And the parrots are glorifying Krishna. And then he's explaining Shukadeva Goswami how Krishna is going to the pasturing grounds. He has explained there. And in one verse he has explained, all the gopis then are, of course, then glorifying Krishna. And when Krishna is playing the flute, and they're also explaining when Krishna is coming back from the pasturing grounds. So that is a festival for the eyes. So that is what they want to see is Krishna. They only want to see Krishna ultimately. And so they're very eager to see Krishna. They want to hear about Krishna. They want to glorify Krishna. They want to serve Krishna. And when Krishna is playing the flute, the cows are usually eating the grass and the calves and drinking the mother's milk. But then when Krishna is playing the flute, they're all stopping. The cow is not eating the grass anymore. The grass is there within the mouth. And they're listening. And the calves, they're drinking milk or jumping around, the small calves. But when Krishna is playing the flute, they're all listening. And Jamuna river is stopping her flow because she also wants to listen. And sometimes they're offering the lotus flowers when Krishna is near the Jamuna to the lotus feet of Krishna. And the birds are sitting on the branches and usually they are chirping or they may glorify Krishna, but when Krishna is playing the flute, they're listening like great sages. And the stones were hard, but when Krishna is playing the flute, the stones are melting. And therefore, in some places, when Krishna is playing the flute, then the stone is melting, and then you can see Krishna's lotus feet imprint in different places in Braj, like in at the hill, Anandagaon Charan Pahari. In some places it is there, you can see Krishna's lotus foot imprint. And of course, and then even the clouds are there, and when Krishna is playing the flute, they are also making some nice little sound. And then a few drops of water are coming on Krishna. And of course, the gopis are very much enlivened when Krishna is playing the flute. But then they're feeling also some transcendental jealousy, because the flute is very fortunate. The flute is always with Krishna. And they're thinking Krishna is playing the flute and is kissing the flute, which is actually meant for us. He should be kissing us, but he's kissing the flute. Therefore, sometimes they're stealing the flute, the gopis. And Krishna has to run after the gopis to get back his flute. So wonderful effect is there of Krishna playing the flute, and everyone, Maria Yashoda, also the friends, they become so much enchanted when Krishna is playing the flute. He's the best flute player. There's only one person who is more expert in playing the flute. Who is that? Srimati Radharani, yes. You're right. And who's the best dancer? Krishna. But there's one person dancing more beautiful than Krishna, that is Srimati Radharani. Yeah, so wonderful pastimes are there. And so that is Venu Madhurya. And when Krishna is playing the flute, what is happening with everybody in Braj? And even sometimes the demigods are there, and they want to watch on their flower airplanes. Not our, like we have airplanes and we think we are so advanced, made of metal, which is it's quite amazing too, how it is flying and carrying so many people. But they're flower airplanes, and there's no pollution, no noise. Yeah. And so then they're watching. They may come many times because so beautiful the pastimes. And then when Krishna is performing his Rasa Lila and dancing with the gopis, then actually the demigods, because they don't have pure love for Krishna, they have some love, they only see Krishna dancing and they're amazed, wow, Krishna is dancing really nicely. But the gopis are the wives of the demigods, they can see the gopis also because they have more love. Sometimes Indra gets a little lusty, so he's not qualified to see the gopis. And sometimes they're throwing flower petals on Krishna, and the gopis also. So they also, and then they become bewildered when Krishna is playing the flute. So wonderful effect of Krishna playing the flute. And then his beauty is also unparalleled. Vishnu is beautiful, Ramchandra Bhagavan is beautiful, Dwarkadish is beautiful, but Krishna is most beautiful. Unparalleled beauty. And Krishna is always beautiful. And so he's playing with his friends, and Maria Yashoda has love, and well, I was telling about the laddu, right? I didn't finish the story, right? Yeah. So she made these beautiful laddus, nice laddus. She was telling about the different pastimes and so on. I will conclude now the breakfast there. So she's making this beautiful laddu. Manohar laddu, it is called. Stealing the mind. Manohar, haran, to steal the mind. It is so tasty. Wow. Yeah. And Krishna's name is also Manohar. Your name is Manohar? Okay.
Gopal.
Manohar Gopal, okay. So you ever had Manohar laddu? No? You should ask your wife, where's your wife? Okay, she's online. Yeah, she is your mother? And so, okay. So you came to bring the nice prasad today, right? Some,
It was sweet.
yeah, the sweet. So she made, because they're from Orissa, so they make a nice cake, which is offered to Jagannath also. It was very tasty. Of course, Amarendra's wife also cooked very nicely, swastika, very nicely. And she's a good painter also. She gave me one time also. She gave me or you gave me? Somebody
Definitely
gave
not
me.
me.
Just-
Definitely not me.
No, she made a few and then I got one. I don't know, remember if you gave me yourself or somebody, you gave me yourself? Yeah. So beautiful painting, just like the Babaji in Braj.
I used to get punished for painting them
Acha.
by my teacher in school.
Okay.
Definitely not.
No, so she painted nicely this Sri Radha and she cooked nicely lunch also. And yeah, the cake was nice. I'm getting nice prasad. Krishna is very merciful. He's taking care of me and the devotees are taking care. Although I'm very insignificant. So, anyhow, we're still with the Manohar Laddu.
I know how you.
Manohar Laddu. So she made these laddus, and the other point was that, so first Krishna and sometimes the elders are there taking with Nanda Maharaj and the ladies are there, Yashoda supervising, Rohini cooking something, Radharani cooking, and the helpers are there. Or the gopis are there, and they're putting on a plate, and there's a servant coming. Male servant is there, bringing the items to Nanda Baba or to Krishna. So this plate, of course, she made especially for Krishna. So the plate is there in front of Krishna. So it's a big dining hall, and there are windows also, from where she can see how Krishna is eating. And when Krishna is smiling, she knows it is nice. And mostly he's smiling because mostly it is excellent. She's the best cook. So he's looking at the laddu smiling. And of course he knows that Radharani is looking. She's not always there, but when she's there, he knows because of her love. And he's very receptive to the love of Radharani especially. And he's waiting eagerly. And so he's taking the laddu and smiling, looking at the laddu. And slowly putting near his mouth and he's biting and not nice. Putting the plate to Radharani's brother Sridham, who was sitting there, and Radharani, "Hoi, hoi, what happened? Laddu is not nice. How come? Hoi. Oh my God, what happened? Krishna, Krishna, what happened? What did I do wrong?" And then Sridham is eating. Wow, so nice laddu, and smiling. And then Sridham is laughing, Krishna is laughing, because Krishna is the greatest joker. And then Radharani understood Krishna is just joking and teasing me, and she's laughing also. Sisi Radha Shama Sundar ki, Manohar Laddu ki. So that is their wonderful Krishna. So Krishna is most beautiful. When he's getting the nice laddu, he's becoming more beautiful, right? When he's not meeting, so the gopis is not so happy. So Krishna is always beautiful, but when he's with friends and he's playing, he's having fun, he looks more beautiful. And Shrimati Yashoda Devi, Yashoda Ma, she's so much love for Krishna, and exchange is there. But when Krishna is with the gopis, especially Radharani, then Krishna is most beautiful. Because of Radharani's beauty, he's so much enlivened. Because of her love, he becomes most beautiful. And that is unparalleled beauty. So and then Vishnu is beautiful also, but no comparison. And of course, Dwarkadish is there and 16,108 queens are there, and they also have love, and Krishna is reciprocating and is beautiful there, but Krishna and Braj is more beautiful. And the gopis' love is more exalted than the love of the queens of Dwarka. Therefore, many times Krishna is remembering Krishna. Dwarkadish is remembering Krishna in Braj. And therefore Jagannath manifested. That is Dwarkadish, but in Mahabhav Prakash, is feeling so much ecstasy. And that is an ecstatic symptoms when the limbs are going inside. He's remembering the pastimes of himself in Braj. So much so that many times during the day also, he's calling out, "Hey Yashoda, oh Madhumangal, Sridham, where are you?" He doesn't say so much the name of the gopis during the day, because that would not be proper. But at night time, then he's sleeping next to the queens, and sometimes he's calling the names of the cows. "Hey Hamsi, come back, it's time to go back to home." And okay, and then he's calling, "Ma Yashoda, I am hungry, please give me some butter, makkan misri." And hoi, but they're never calling out, "Hey Rukmini, hey Satyabhama." And then, so, "Sudam, Sridham, where are you?" And they're just a little bit concerned. But then when sometimes he's calling out, "Hey Radhe, hey Lalite, hey Vishaka, where are you?" And then Rukmini or Satyabhama, hoi. And they're very much concerned. And they can discuss with each other. And then they want to know from Rohinima about the pastimes of Krishna in Braj. So for this we can see that Krishna is most beautiful in Braj. Unparalleled beauty is there. And so Mahaprabhu is there to relish the love and the pastimes also with the gopis, especially, and Srimati Radharani. And therefore sometimes he was exhibiting these ecstatic symptoms. Like also one time, he was so much in ecstasy, and he fell to the ground, and his limbs were also going inside. Like a tortoise, can put the limbs out and in. Or like Jagannath, the arms are inside. And one time, so he was so much absorbed in separation also, and he fell to the ground, and his limbs were elongated. So these are Mahabhav Prakash, the highest transcendental sentiments, so which is there in Krishna or the gopis. To some extent the queens also, but it is inferior to the transcendental love of the gopis. So therefore he is most beautiful in Braj. Krishna's beauty is unparalleled. His transcendental form. Navagana Shyamam. Jayam. So in Purushottamas, Purushottamas. And usually devotees, they do a little more chanting during this month if possible. Or they chant some extra prayers. In India it is very common. In the West it may not be so known. But now some devotees also know, and they try to do something extra. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur also, he said that we should do something extra. And it is actually to help. Because we do everyday chanting and worshipping the deities and reading, hearing, but sometimes it becomes mechanical. So sometimes we need a push. For that reason, Purushottam Mass is there, or Kartik Mass. Okay, now we do 1 month, we do a little more, and less Prajalpa, less Gramya Katha, less village talk, what this devotee is doing, what the neighbor is doing. But now we talk about Krishna, the gopis, the associates, and the mobile is on silent. Actually, in Vrindavan, I'm very busy. So then I was thinking, and anyhow, Purushottam Mass, and it's hot, I thought. Sometimes I stay, I go to Mayapur and Puri, but I thought, because in Vrindavan, or I'm a very busy man. So I thought, and then always the phone is ringing, and if you have seva, you cannot put on silent. So I thought, let me just go to the West and to America after 10 years of trying. And always something came in between. But usually I go to Europe. Then I thought, then I can follow the Purushottam Vrat and chant more, offer more prayers, speak more about Purushottam Krishna or Prem Purushottam Mahaprabhu. And Krishna is Lila Purushottam. Of course, Maryada Purushottam is there, and we offer pranam to him also. But we try to be more absorbed in Prem Purushottam Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lila Purushottam Krishna. And so Purushottam Maas, Adik Maas, is celebrated month. So if we can do more, it is good. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he gave 2 verses which you may chant. If we cannot do so much, if one is householders, one is busy, but at least we may chant 2 verses. Dhyayen Navagana Shamam, Dvibhujam Bolidaram, Lasat Pitam Ramyam Sarada Purushottamam. Dhyayen Purushottam, we should remember Purushottam. And then his complexion is mentioned. Navagana Shamam is like the bluish black rain cloud. Jalada, another name for the cloud is Jalada, that which is giving water. Kanaka Jalada Gatro Nilasanobja Netro, Mrigamanda Varabalo, Maratikundamalo, Taradaraveso, Nilapitambareso, Smarani Britta Nikunja Radhakar Krishna Chandra. That is a verse by Rupa Goswami. We remember Radha Krishna in the Kunjas, and Radharani is there with the golden complexion. And Krishna with this bluish black color like the rain cloud which is giving water. Jalada. Jal means water, da giving. The cloud is giving water. And it's Megasham. Krishna's name is Megasham. Navagana Shamam. And so he has 2 arms. Although Vishnu has 4 arms, but Krishna is superior than Vishnu. In Dwarka, sometimes he's showing, he mostly has 2 arms there. Sometimes he's showing his 4-arm form to show, I am Bhagavan. And he's superior to Lakshminarayan or Sitaram. But in Braj is more superior. And that's also Krishna in Dwarka is establishing and proclaiming. And he's always holding the flute. And one more thing he always has, what is that? What Krishna has? The flute and peacock feather. Siki Pichi Molim. So another beautiful verse by Prabhupada Saraswati. Dayatam Siki Pichi Molim Anisantan Nama Sanketanam Nityam Tachcharanam Bhujam Paricharyam Tan Mantravarya Japam Siradha Pada Dasyam Eva Paramadbhut Sirada Pada Dasyam Paramabhishtam Hrida Dhayaram Tad Anuraga, what is it? Tad Anugraha Param Adbhut Anuragotsavaha. Every day is a festival in Vrindavan. So by Krishna's mercy. And so we remember Krishna having a peacock feather. And then and the devotees always engaged in them. So he's recommending to chant the holy names and daily worshipping the deities, the lotus feet of the deities, and chanting, if we are fortunate, chanting the Gayatri mantra, and keeping in the heart the aspiration to serve the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. Lasat Pitaram Yam. So he is wearing a yellow cloth. Saradam Purushottam. So Purushottam Krishna, accompanied by Srimati Radharani, wearing this yellow cloth that is reminding him of Radharani, and Radharani has blue cloth, reminding her of Krishna. And so he's golden, and his shamrang, and then Krishna's eyes. So the inside part of the eyes, of course, blackish is there, black is there, but then also the black point is there, and around there it is golden and little reddish. And Radharani's inside part is blue. And then they wear beautiful garlands, Malati Kundamala, some fragrant flowers are there. And then having this beautiful dress. So, yes. So beautiful verses are there by Rupa Goswami, by the Acharyas. And by remembering them, then we can remember. So Krishna and his wonderful associates, and we can remember Mahaprabhu and his associates. And so that is the perfection of life. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we could go on for 2 hours, 3 hours more, no problem. But we have to stop here. In India we say, Avaniko Viram Dena, giving rest to the tongue. And so we stop here. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Jai Radhesham. Jai Jai Sisi Radhesham. Hare Krishna. Everything is clear, right? No need to ask question. Everything is clear. Chant Hare Krishna, worship the deities, hear about Krishna, and your life becomes perfect. So, and it is for everyone, and it is easily performed. Right? No problem. And if you have any problem, Katanchana smiti asmim duskaram sukaram bhavet. Vismeta vipretam chat chitchetannam namamitam. Also one of the Mangalacharan verse in one of the chapters of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, if you remember Mahaprabhu, the big problems they become small. If you forget Mahaprabhu, the small problems become big. So if you have any problem, just remember Mahaprabhu, the problems become small, and then you just chant Hare Krishna and everything is fine. Hare Krishna. But still, anyone has any question? Oh yeah, he has a Krishna Nam as a question. Okay.
You mentioned in the beginning that you asked us if we want to go to
Golok. Right.
Navadvip. I wanted to ask you how much of this destination is our own desire or association,
Yes.
or our original
Right.
relationship with Krishna?
Yes. Yeah, that is a good question. And the devotees sometimes they ask about that. And even sometimes some debate is about that. Some say, well, by association we get that. But actually our acharyas have explained that Prabhupada has mentioned Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Rupa Goswami, that it is already there. Our Swarup is there, but it is dormant. But by associating with the devotees, then our conscious, and by performing this devotional service, by chanting holy names, serving the deities, then our spiritual nature will be manifest slowly but surely. The inclination will be there. And then we will realize our Swarup. It is already there, but it is in seed-like form. It is dormant. Just you have a mango. You put the mango in the ground, you give water, it becomes a sprout. It doesn't become a cherry tree sprout, but it is a mango tree sprout and becomes a mango tree, and then the mangoes are coming. So that is there. Our spiritual form is already there, but it is not manifested. So by chanting the holy names, and then of course by good association, then it will be revealed. And usually, so that will be arranged by Krishna, the proper association, so that, and usually by the arrangement of the Lord, then we'll be drawn to those with the same mood, naturally. If one is supposed to go to Vaikuntha, he will take birth in South India. and go to the temple there, Sri Rangam or Padmanabh temple, and then they worship Lakshmi Narayan. And I was just there after many years also in Sri Rangam. They go in the temple and they say, Govinda! Govinda! But Govinda is the name of Vishnu also. They were saying Govinda, and we also say Govinda, but their Govinda is different than our Govinda. They call out to Vishnu, and we call out to Sham Sundar, Govinda. That is the second verse which Bhaktivinoda Thakur is recommended we may chant. Govardhan Dharam Bande, Gopalam Goparupinam, Gokul Utsaram, Ishanam, Govindam, Gopika Priyam. So, Govardhana Dharam Vande, we offer pranam respect to Krishna who is lifting Govardhan hill. Gopal, his name is Gopal because Gopal Rupinam, he is a form of a gop. So it's Gopal. And what the Gopas doing? They're taking Gopalan. They're taking care of the cows and the cows and the calf. So therefore it's known as Gopal. And then Gokul Utsanam Ishanam, and in Gokul every day again there's a festival there. But Ishanam is actually the Supreme Lord, but he's in this form. And his name is also Govindam, Gopika Priyam, who is very dear to the gopis, and the gopis are dear to him. Radha Govinda Deva ki,
Jai.
Radha Shama Sundar ki,
Jai.
Radha Golokananda ki.
Jai.
Okay, you have a question?
So, thank you, Prabhuji. So you mentioned about this Paripakva Dainyata.
Paripakva Dainata. That is from Brihad Bhagavatamrita, which Prabhupada said, anyone who wants to know about Bhagavan, Bhakti must read this book. And that Narada Muni has told. Paripakva Dainatva. Yes.
So the question is, how can we cultivate that mood of Dainyata? Like you mentioned, like
Right.
initially there may be some
Yes.
Dainya just by seeing.
Yes.
How do we cultivate?
How we can cultivate humility. So first of all, we should chant this verse Trinadapi Sunichana every day, but not only once in the morning. But Mahaprabhu himself has said we should keep this mantra just like we have the Kantimala around the neck. What does it mean? It means it should be in our throat. Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Amananina Kirtaniya Sadahari. So you can recite it a few times a day. And should be our consciousness. Remember, we should be humble, tolerant. And that is very much required even in the devotee's life. You have to be humble. And then even outside the world, you have to be humble. And so we keep this verse. And so as I was saying, that is the first verse which I saw. And then, of course, then when it came to Vrindavan, then I learned the Shikshashtakam, and right from the beginning, and every day I'm chanting Shikshashtakam, and especially this verse, we chant more than one time. So by doing that and trying to be humble, then you will become humble. We have to try to be humble. And we chant this verse, and we chant Hare Krishna, then we become purified, and then we realize that we are insignificant, and Krishna is great. And then when we have the proper consciousness, we see that everyone is actually serving Krishna so nicely. Oh, he's such a good Sanskrit scholar here, and he's speaking nicely, and you're managing the temple so nicely. We have seen and we have heard, and he's such a good boy here. 16 years old, already chanting 16 rounds, and already Brahman initiated, and he has knowledge also. So we see the good qualities in everyone. And his little sister is there also, a very nice little girl. Amendra's wife is a wonderful devotee. So many here. Krishna Nam, a wonderful devotee also. Asking nice questions. And he took us around on a nice little path which are there around here. So, and we are reminded of Braj by going to the different forests. Like in Braj, 12 forests are there. And Golokavasini is there. She has a beautiful smile. So we see the good qualities in everyone. That is a Vaishnava. And there's one great scholar was there, Chanakya Pandit. And so he was a very good Brahmana, devotee of the Lord Vaishnava. And he was extremely intelligent also. Niti Shastra he has given also. Because sometimes, even as a Brahmana, you have to be careful how to deal with others. And so Prabhupada also many times quoted Chanakya Pandit. And he has written so many important verses which Prabhupada quotes. And there's a whole book. And so he has mentioned, devotee is like a bee, going to different flowers and getting the essence of the flower. And then producing a wonderful food, which is honey, which we offer to the deities, and which is very good, very tasty and very good for health also. So the devotees should be like the bee. But the other people there also, and even sometimes devotees who are not yet so advanced, they will see the fault in the others. It's like the fly. If you have a cut, the fly will go there where the cut is. Even you brush it away, but it will go back to that place. And even it can get infected. So we should be like a bee and see the good qualities of others. And anyhow, if you're really devoted and you respect everyone, and you're naturally, then you're humble, and then it becomes very ripe. The more you become purified, and then you realize your insignificant nature, a spirit soul, and then you can actually grow when you're in this position, and then your form can manifest. If you're proud, then it will not manifest. But and usually we can also notice the humble devotees. Humble devotee here, so that we can see. But yeah, so we should keep this verse. That means we should remember that verse, we should recite that verse. And we should try to be humble, tolerant, and respectful, kind with others in our dealings. And then it will take some time because the process of purification is there. If one is still not yet pure and under the most material nature, we cannot be completely humble and we cannot fully surrender. It is all partial. Only if one is purified in existence and understanding our spiritual nature, then we can have this paripakva dainatva, this ripe humility. Then we will have Dhriya Vishwas, strong faith, unbreakable faith, no matter what, no matter what happens. People insulting us, or so many difficulties may be there, but one will never give up the chanting and engaging in devotional activities, and nothing can shake the devotee. And then, then in this situation also, then he will take shelter of Krishna, Purna Sharanagati, full shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. So that is possible if one is already purified in consciousness. So we have to be patient and undergo the process of purification, and then we will reach that stage. It is just a matter of time. So we have to be patient. So very soon, you're almost a pure devotee, and very soon you will be pure devotee. I'm right, isn't it? I'm right? Yeah. So therefore Krishna put you in that position, and so your glories are sung. At least here, so we have heard from devotees, and everyone is nodding, yes, right, and saying,
Yes,
Hare Krishna.
Sadhu,
Sadhu.
I asked the question to become more humble.
You're teaching others. Yeah. Sometimes the seniors are doing that, actually asking questions. They're already humble, but then they're asking questions so that others can become humble. or they're asking something that, can you tell me about Krishna, this and that, I don't know. But they know, but they're asking for the benefit of others. So that is intelligent leader. Okay.
Haribol.
Yeah. Okay. Any other question? Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for such a wonderful class. Thank you for bringing love and healing right in front of us. Through your words, I felt like I've seen Radha Shyam Sundar, right?
Haribol.
Through your Vani.
Yeah, they are here. You see the picture, Radhe Shyam. I immediately noticed. Yeah.
One point that really struck me is that when you mentioned eagerness is required to do
Mhm.
better and more.
Lolyam. That, Krishna Bhavanamrit. So the name Krishna consciousness, this comes from this one verse that is actually also in Padyavali by Rupa Goswami. So you can see how important is Rupa Goswami. He said Lolyam is required. Somehow or the other, we have to get this Lolyam to trying to have the desire to attain Krishna. Yeah. But that is not so easily achieved. That we can achieve in the good association of those who have Lolyam, then we can get this Lolyam also. And then Bhakti Yoga Dan. Bhakti A. Krishna Nam Smarane Krandane. The wealth of Bhakti, what is it? Chanting the holy names that we have to remember. And then crying, Krandane. So we have to cry for the mercy. And then when you do that, then we can cry in bliss also by chanting the holy names and crying in separation. So, yeah, so this Lolyam we have to try to get. Yeah. Anything else you want to ask? Or?
Yeah, one follow-up question, like when I have the desire and eagerness to do more, I end up, if I end up not doing everything that I wanted to, it brings so much remorse and depression, like so much sadness. So how should I deal with that? How can I balance myself that whatever I have the desire to do, like how can I beg for that desire from Krishna that may he give me that strength that I want to do, whatever I want to do, may I able to do it.
Yes. Yeah, the thing is you have to be tolerant again, and you have to be patient, and actually you have to understand that the more you try to advance, like if somebody is going to school, the higher you go in class, then the tests are more difficult. And the Maya Devi is there testing, and sometimes Krishna is testing. And therefore we want to try to do more, and sometimes it becomes more difficult. It is a test, but you have to continue. And therefore, so usually this month of Purushottam of Kartik, we should try to make an endeavor to do more. But I mean, if we cannot do as much as we want, then we just have to tolerate ourselves, our condition. And so we have to be patient with ourselves, and we have to tolerate ourselves, our position, that we are not able to do as much as we want to do, as much as we should do. So, but then we have to go on and just try to do, and we try our best as much as we can. And even if we are not successful, but at least we are trying and trying to do more, and Krishna is appreciating. So don't worry, you're trying your best, and then Krishna is appreciating.
Yesterday you said Krishna is hearing, so that just gives so much hope.
Yeah. Krishna is there. Yeah, and he's in your heart, and he's seeing your endeavor. And even just like a child is there, child is trying to walk, small child, but then he's falling down after a few steps. And then the father is picking up with the mother, and he's trying. And then after sometimes the child can stand and can go ahead. So Krishna is there, and Krishna is watching, and Krishna will help also, directly or through some devotees, so that you can advance slowly but surely. But you have to be very, very, very patient and very, very tolerant. These two things are very much required. So it has to be like a mountain of patience has to be there, a mountain of tolerance.
Thank you.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Any Everything clear? Or any more question? Comment? Any comment? So then this prasadam also, right? Okay. So we stop here. Hare Krishna.
Haribo. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Such a beautiful katha, starting with the Trinadapi Sunicha verse, Dainya, and then leading on into Krishna's pastimes, going through the Ashtakalya Leela, and then the four qualities that only Krishna has. Such a beautiful class, and so much packed in this 2 hours of katha. It was so, so sweet. And like yesterday, again, you took us right to Vrindavan. And while hearing you, I was just thinking that all we have to pray is to get a drop of taste that Prabhuji has for Sri Vrindavan Dham. So thank you so much for the nectar, and we pray that you bless us, that we can have a taste for Sri Vrindavan Dham. So let's express our gratitude to Prabhuji. What he is giving us cannot be obtained. You know, it's like such a special gift to actually hear from a Rajvasi, to get a drop of Sri Vrindavan Dham. So let's express our gratitude by loudly chanting. His Grace Mukunda Prabhuji ki jai. So we have more nectar. So tomorrow morning, Prabhuji will be giving the Srimad Bhagavatam class at 6:30 a.m. at the temple. And then tomorrow evening, the program will be 6:30 in the evening, and it will be at Radha Kumari Mataji and Vamshi Gopal Prabhu's house in Hillsborough. Right? So every day Prabhuji has been driving all the way here. So I think one day we all, I mean, at least those are here, you all can drive all the way to Hillsborough. So please do join us tomorrow. Every class, every moment of association with Prabhuji is so, so important. So it's a working day, but please make effort. Please come for tomorrow evening program for another nectar session. Vrindavan Mellows. To get more nectar from Prabhuji. Right? So tomorrow morning and tomorrow evening, Katha. Okay. So thank you everyone for coming, and we would like to kindly express our gratitude to the host, Hari Prabhu and Radhika Mataji. Thank you for hosting. Thank you, big Haribol. Both of them had such a nice mood of seva. As soon as the opportunity was like, Prabhu was like, oh, I would like to host, and such a nice mood of service and how they welcome Prabhu and arrange everything. So thank you so much, Prabhu and Mataji, for your mood of seva, setting the example, and for hosting the program today. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. And so I'd like to thank all the devotees who helped with the prasadam. So thank you so much. Thank you. So yes, our next program is the prasadam. And I think prasadam is in the garage. Okay. So thank you all so much. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Morning class 6:30 in temple and evening 6:30 and Hillsborough. Thank you all so much. His Grace Mukunda Prabhuji ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. I'm going to distribute Maha. Yeah. Okay, so Prabhuji has very, very special Maha Tulsi leaves with Chandan from the lotus feet of Sri Sri Radha Sham Sundar. Haribol. So everyone can please come forward and receive the very, very special nectar from Sri Vrindavan Dham. So please, everyone please come forward and get the Maha Tulsi with the Chandan from lotus feet of Radha Sham Sundar. Thank you. Hare Krishna.